Chapter 5: The Betrayal of Blood.
The blood of an innocent Hylian.
Rinku blinked, confused.
Blood?
It is the giver and keeper of all life.
Yami said.
And innocence is a powerful magic itself. Put them together, you get one of the most unparalleled magics known to mortals. So powerful that, with the right manipulation, it can weaken a god.
This was what Yami had explained to Rinku earlier in the day when they met to discuss next steps. The third artifact Rinku needed to acquire: blood. He had swum to the bottom of the ocean, escaped death by drowning, and defeated a monster with pure combat skill, and perhaps a bit of luck. But this was going to be the most difficult task of all. He had no idea how he was to acquire it, nor from whom. But whoever it was had to be innocent. Could he hurt an innocent person? Was he capable of that? Innocence. That word always brought Eri to mind. No, he refused to use her again for this mission, especially in such a morbid way. Perhaps Elder Chi-Chi, but he was older. Who knew how his soul had been tainted over the long years of his life? And Rinku himself, well, he already knew that was off the table. He could think of no one else in Hylias who would qualify as having an innocent soul. They were all hypocrites, selfish and rude. They all shunned Rinku and Eri for their mother's decision to leave. The siblings had no friends. They didn't even go to school anymore. There was no one at all. No one except Eri.
The Goron's islands are a string of volcanic lands, stretching across 20 miles of ocean. The view is quite grand, and I take in the sight with a certain level of peace, even though I'm readying to seize 10 of the rocky creatures. They won't see it coming. I'll use my charm and gift of manipulation to lure them to the Roger, trap them inside one of the locked rooms with the help of Yaken, I'm sure, and sneer at her infuriating face with victory. She thinks I am incapable, inconsequential, but she will see. Oh yes, she will see. But as I approach a group of Gorons mining an ore-speckled cliffside on the shore of the northmost island where the Roger is docked, I don't even get a chance. My world goes dark as a bag is forced over my head from behind, and innumerable hands grab at me from all sides, yanking me backward. I twist and kick, attempting to maneuver my way out of this trap, but there are too many of them. I cannot get free. I am about to transform into a sparrow in order to escape the abductors, but I recognize the feel of the wooden plank over which they walk me, and smell the familiar, overwhelming stink of the pirate ship. I decide to wait before taking drastic measures. If I am on familiar territory, perhaps I can operate with more advantage. I calm, allowing the hands to guide me across the ship, into the dank hall and towards Yaken's cabin. Through the porous fabric of the bag, I can see the lanterns lighting the way. We enter. The hands set me down roughly into a chair, and the bag is ripped off my head. I squint in the dim light and see the captain herself, sneering at me.
Oh, Yami. Clever, clever Yami.
She begins. I admit, her snake-like smile eats at my ego. What does she have up her sleeve? She wanted me to bring her Gorons, and yet, as I am to do so, she brings me back. Something has gone awry. What is the meaning of—
You don't get to ask questions.
She shouts, standing up and slamming her hands down on the desk, causing it to wobble, as unstable as her.
Your lies and backstabbing, and now I know you spoke to Utsu.
Ah, there we have it. Perhaps the fish on this good-for-nothing ship have been doing their jobs. Someone has been snitching. Yaken awaits my response, but I sit still and silent. I must play this just right, but I do not yet know how.
Do you have anything to say, dealer? You've betrayed my trust.
I was going to bring you your hollows today, Captain, and you have interrupted those plans.
Don't deflect. Just because you were going to follow through with one promise doesn't mean you weren't planning to steal from me. Were the hollows just a distraction?
I am finding it more difficult to keep my cool. They were an opportunity, I retort, barely at the edge of control. For both of us. Yaken scoffs.
Right, an opportunity. All you care about is opportunity, isn't it? Who cares on whom you tread along the way? Who is used?
And what are you using Utsu for? I ask, collected as ever, but seething inside. You could have killed her by now, like you killed her husband. She has children, you know, children who believe she's abandoned them. The captain lowers herself into her seat again. Slowly, her eyes narrowed.
Well, you seem to know a lot about a lot, Yami. You were right. Dealers have a wealth of information.
Sarcasm soaks her tone. Information that you need, Captain. Which is why you should keep me around, so that we can help each other. I was never unclear that that was my aim.
You just decided to be obscure about the details.
She says, and sits back, crossing her arms with a certain satisfaction that I don't quite understand. Then she shouts.
You can come out now.
I frown in confusion, but it seems she isn't speaking to me, though her gaze has not left mine. A door behind Yaken, hidden by bookshelves that had escaped my notice, opens and a woman enters the room. Shaking, thin, wary, and free. Utsu.
She tells me her husband was sent to us by you. That she sought you out, and you made the same exact deal with her. Steal from me, and she could get her revenge.
My eyes flit to Utsu, who stands fidgeting, as though she doesn't know what to do with her hands. She's nervous, though I'm not sure if it's because of me or Yaken. So she is the snitch herself.
Don't worry, Yami. Utsu and I have come to a deal. You are now extra weight on my ship, and I do not need you any longer.
I'm the one getting rid of the goddess who would thwart your destiny, Yaken.
Don't try to satiate me with lies again. You can do nothing. You made promises to Utsu and her husband, and could not come through. You are worthless to me.
Before I can defend this claim, Yaken whistles high and quick. The fish rush into the cabin, at attention.
Take him to the brig.
Yaken spits.
I will determine his consequences later.
I do not fight them. They walk me down the hall, but not before I give Utsu a searing glance, who balks at me in return. Whatever deal they have made will not last long, that I can see. She is beyond the mentality required. She is broken. I am shoved inside the same cell in which Utsu had lived. The cage is locked, and I am left alone. It takes only seconds to transform into a rat as I skitter across the rotting wood panels, searching for an exit off the ship. My rage burns within me. I need that crystal core now more than ever. The device with which she makes her predictions. I had assumed it would be easily accessible once I gave Yaken the hollows she required. But now it is all for naught. Something must be done. I find a hole in the hull, presumably chewed by another rat, jump toward the sloshing sea, and transform into a sparrow before I hit the water. Soaring high into the sky, I realize my only hope is Rinku. We must rid this world of Hylia, and then he will get me the core, because Yaken will never free Utsu. She will use her for her needs and then discard her, as she did me. Rinku's mother will never return home, but I must act as though she will, or else his trust in me will also fade. Curse this goddess-forsaken Hyrule.
I must determine which pirate faction Utsu attempted to find. I cannot very well ask Yami where he sent her, but perhaps I can trace the breadcrumbs she left. Already, I know Elder Chi-Chi set her on the path, if inadvertently. From there, she must have had help after knowing where she was to travel. Across the sea, I would imagine. I do a little digging, discovering that Utsu was last seen by the town's small pier, where a group of fishermen dock their boats.
Aye, she was here that day.
One of the men tells me now as he repairs a torn fishing net. He eyes me with suspicion.
She wanted to go to Eventide.
And did you take her? The man shakes his head.
Aye, that was Wells, but he never came back neither. You don't hear people talking about that, do you?
Did you ever go looking for him? His expression turns defensive.
I have a job here, a family to take care of. Didn't have the time. And no one else here did either, so you can save your judgment, lass.
I have no intention of judgment, sir. I am just trying to find out why people are going missing here. I have the support of your town's elder, and I can help. If you will help me. He continues sewing, keeping one eye on me. I can see the art in your craft, I tell him. You must be very good at your job.
It pays the bills. Barely.
And if I could assist you with that, would you take me to Eventide? I would simply allow my consciousness to travel there, but I cannot take action in the body of a seagull. I need my full form. The man stops sewing, taken aback.
How much are we talking?
I reach into my trousers, removing a pouch full of rupees. There are 50 silver rupees in here. I will give you the lot. His jaw drops and he stares greedily at the pouch, but he does not say anything in response. Is this not enough? I can ask someone else.
No, I'll take you to the island. It's plenty enough.
I smile in satisfaction. Thank you. We ready to leave, and the fisherman accepts my offer of rupees with fervor. I ask him his name.
Rio, ma'am. And yours?
When I am asked my name, I normally do not give it. I only gave it to Rinku so readily because he recognized me as a goddess. But I feel I owe this man at least some truth, given he has agreed so graciously to help me. I am called Hylia, I answer, as I sit inside the hull of his sailboat. He begins to arrange the sails for travel.
Named after a goddess. Well, your folks must have thought you were meant for something grand.
The three certainly did. And perhaps like any earthly child, I am rebelling against their wishes. The thought should shame me, but instead it makes me feel closer to the beings I am to protect. Rio tells me the trip will take 4 hours, and we speak of all sorts of things on the way. He talks of his family, a wife, married 15 years, and 3 children who are all under 10 years of age. Life after Ganon's rise has been difficult for them, and the economy of Hylia is beginning to suffer. His meager fisherman's salary doesn't quite support his family any longer, and he thanks me profusely for my gift of rupees. I sincerely hope it helps you, at least for a little while.
Wish I could give some of it to Wells. He's got a kid back home too.
Perhaps you'll find him on Eventide, I offer. He scoffs.
He's either run off or dead, ma'am. Ain't no other answer.
The rest of the trip is mostly silent, as I consider this. Utsu did leave Hylias in order to find the pirates and seek justice for her husband. But what if she stayed for another reason? And while the possibility of her death has always been a reality, it only feels more plausible now. If she is dead, or if she does not wish to return, what shall I tell Rinku? It is a conundrum that eats at me as we sail the sea, the red skies above us glaring as ever. We arrive at the island at dusk. It is large but dense, crowded with trees and an exceedingly tall, narrow cliff perched at the southeasternmost edge. It is quite beautiful, enchanting. I knew of the island's existence, but this is the first I am seeing it for myself. Rio offers to stay docked until I can accomplish what I've set out to, and he promises to sail us both back to the mainland. Without him, I am not sure how I would have been able to come here, so I thank him with all the gratitude I can muster. Eventide is busy with trade and a versatile marketplace full of merchants. It is a place lush with economy, something rare in Hyrule now, as Rio had explained. Perhaps I shall suggest to him to establish himself in this market. I ask several people I pass about a pirate ship that has docked here in the last 6 months, but all ignore me, concern etched on their faces. I imagine it is not that they aren't privy to the information, but instead they fear to speak it. As I wonder how I can best discover what I need to, a Goron approaches me from behind his kiosk of mined obsidian.
I hear you're looking for a pirate ship.
He asks me. I am indeed. Have you seen it?
Well, there was one docked here just a day ago. They'd been here a while, didn't cause any trouble that I know of. But I only just started selling here. I've heard people gossiping about their plans though, some real fishy stuff.
Can you elaborate?
People say they talk a lot about...
He glances about and lowers his tone.
About Ganon, about his rise and how they can get in on his plans. People say they even worship him.
He shakes his head in a sad way.
These are wild times.
I keep my thoughts from my expression. Pirates who are also Ganon worshippers. This could only mean one thing. Do you happen to know where they sailed?
Well, if they're anything like the other pirates who come sniffing around, they'll be headed to my home for trading, the Deathmount Isles. But I can't guarantee that.
I thank the gentle Goron by purchasing one of his obsidian necklaces, a rather quaint yet lovely thing. He tells me it will protect me from evil and those who would wish dark energies upon me. And now I know that protection from evil is even more necessary. Because if these pirates are who I think they are, the whole of Hyrule will need a blanket of obsidian.
What would you do if Mother walked up to us one day, out of the blue?
Rinku and Eri walked the Falora cliffs, gazing out to sea and searching for gaps in the red clouds above them. Though Elder Chi-Chi sincerely wished they wouldn't go up there, they frequently challenged him because the sights were just too serene, even with the apocalypse in the sky.
I would fall to my face and thank Hylia, of course.
Eri joked. Rinku knew she wasn't serious. Eri believed in the goddess, but she didn't place her on a pedestal like everyone else in Hylias. She cared much more about her trinkets than some unseen goddess. Of course, now that Rinku had learned who Hylia really was, his opinion had changed too.
Really though, how would you feel? Would you be upset with her? Would you believe anything she said?
Eri took a moment to consider.
I would hear her out at least. There has to be some reason why she never came back. She loves us, Rinku. I know you question it, but she does. Do you know how I know?
Rinku struggled to keep from rolling his eyes. Eri was right. He did question it. Every day.
How?
Because every morning when she woke me up for school, she gave me a shell.
Rinku stopped walking and frowned at his sister. He didn't know about this. She smiled at him.
Mama's the reason I have so many of them. She went on her beach walks at night after we went to sleep. She told me they calmed her so that she could rest. Otherwise, she'd be up all night, worrying about us, thinking about Papa.
His heart thumped a little harder in his chest. Why didn't he know about this?
And each time, she'd pick a shell and gift it to me in the morning. She'd add it to my collection after I proved it.
Eri laughed.
Of course, I always did. Mama picked the best, most beautiful shells.
Tears welled up in Rinku's eyes unexpectedly. He blinked them away with shame. His mother hadn't gifted him anything. Ever. Jealousy burned inside his chest. He knew Eri and their mother had a strong and close relationship. He had seen it blossom and grow from the day she was born. It was a good thing, special, necessary. But he'd never felt that same closeness with her. Not like that. It was unfair.
All that proves is she loved you,
He retorted. Eri's face fell. He knew it was harsh to say it, but it was the truth, and Eri needed to hear it.
I don't think she was good as a mother as you believe. She left us, Eri. The fact that she gave you a shell a day doesn't erase that. All it does is magnify the betrayal.
He was feeling himself heat up, that familiar rage settling in his core. Eri was too young to understand. Too innocent. There was that word again.
Come on, Rinku. Stop talking about her like she's dead. Why can't you just forgive her? Mama doesn't do anything unless there's a good reason.
Yeah, well, maybe her good reason was she didn't want us anymore. She was tired of us.
For the first time in his life, Rinku saw Eri's face go red with anger.
She was tired of you. You and your insufferable attitude. Maybe it isn't her who doesn't love us. Maybe it's you who doesn't love her.
It happened in an instant. A single, solitary second, when his mind went blank and all he knew was the red in the skies, the rage in his heart, and the weight of his mission. Without thought of risk, and with the force of every negative feeling he'd ever held inside, Rinku, the legendary hero, shoved his sister as hard as he could. For a moment, all sound seemed to be vacuumed from the environment surrounding him. Time slowed, and nothing existed except for himself and Eri, who plummeted backward toward emptiness, her expression disbelieving. Rinku didn't realize that she'd gone over the cliff edge until after she was gone. He had climbed down the cliffside many times before, but this descent was the hardest he'd ever made. He rushed too quickly, causing debris to dislodge and roll dangerously down the slope, making slipping an imminent threat. But he kept going. When he reached Eri's stilled body, the waves just barely reaching her feet, he found himself terrified to touch her. Did he even want to know if she was breathing? But he made himself turn her onto her back, revealing a grisly gash on her forehead. Blood free-flowed from the wound, gushing like lava from a volcano, thick and as red as malice. But the rise and fall of her chest told him she breathed. He could not wait any longer. He had to get her into town, where maybe someone could help her, save her. He went to toss her over his shoulder, but stopped. Blood. Innocent blood. Trembling like a tree in a seaside storm, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a handkerchief. He dabbed some of the blood from her head, folded it up, and stored it away. Shame engulfed him as he carried her into Hylia's, shame like he'd never felt before. He hadn't even really known what he had done until after he did it, as though his body were possessed, taken over by some sort of demonic being. He shouted for help as he crossed the border of town, and people rushed to his side, seeing the blood and demanding to know what he'd done, but he couldn't speak. Then Elder Chi-Chi ran up to him, clutching Uday, his eyes full of fear.
Rinku! How did this happen?
He floundered, his throat dry as bone, his heart palpitating.
She fell.
From the cliff?
He only nodded in response. Chi-Chi's gaze mixed with shock and contempt. It didn't matter if Rinku lied about what happened. He would be blamed regardless. Everything after that was a blur. All he knew was that Chi-Chi and the other townspeople took Eri from him and toward the medicine woman's cabin. He did not follow. Instead, he walked stoically toward Pepetto Forest, some kind of outside force driving him there. He would be protected, shadowed by the trees, hidden away from prying questions, suspicions, accusations. In the back of his mind, he knew he was simply doing what Hylia had done, running away from his problems, his sins. He did this. He did this. Not some demonic being, not a possession of emotion. Him. The three were wrong. Rinku was not a hero. No. There was only one answer to the question of who he truly was. He was evil. Next time on Destined to Drown.
Whatever you think happened didn't. We warned him that his life would be forfeit, but he came at us anyway.
I don't believe you.
Do you know what he was trying to steal from me, Utsu? I have never known another artifact more precious.
As he grunts in pain, an orb, reddish purple in color and glowing, is sucked from his body and transferred into the crystal core.
What has happened?
My sister, Eri. She fell from the cliffside.
We must destroy Ganon.
What if you fail?
Had the god of law and dealings known from the beginning what Hylia had been planning?
What are you up to, Rinku? What have you been hiding from me?
As the goddess aims her first beam of light at him, Ganondorf easily dispels it.